The Resilience Across Borders podcast is intended for education, support, and inspiration. I am not a psychologist or a medical doctor and do not offer any professional, medical, or health advice. If you are dealing with or suffering from any psychological or medical conditions, please seek help from a qualified health professional. Hello and welcome back to Resilience Across Borders podcast. I'm your host, Rashid Zahidi, and also author of the Imogym Journal, which is a guide and workbook to get clear and stay focused on your priorities and institute better habits. In today's episode, we'll talk about identity and reinvention. In other words, who are you when your title disappears? So finding yourself after retirement, divorce, job loss, or empty nesting. Among a few different transitions. Like for years, many of us answer one simple question with remarkable confidence. Like, what do you do? I'm a teacher. I'm a CEO. I'm a parent. I'm a spouse. I'm a firefighter. I'm a nurse. I'm a doctor, and so on. Our careers, relationships, and roles become more than responsibilities. They become our identity. But what happens when those roles disappear? Retirement ends a decades-long career. Divorce changes the foundation of your family. Job loss removes a title you've proudly carried. Children grow up and leave home. Suddenly, the question isn't what happened to your life, it's more like, who are you now? So although these transitions can feel devastating, they often become the beginning of the most authentic chapter of life. Reinvention isn't about becoming someone else. It's about uncovering who you are beyond the labels you've worn. Let's talk about why we attach our identity to roles. Humans naturally seek stability and belonging. Our brains create mental shortcuts by connecting identity with repeated behaviors and social recognition. When people praise you as the successful executive or the devoted mother, or the reliable provider, or those external identities become internal beliefs. The challenge comes when life changes before our identity does. So this creates what psychologists sometimes call identity disruption, the uncomfortable gap between who you were and who you haven't yet become. The loss isn't only external, it's internal as well. So how do we deal with this? Number one, separate your identity from your roles. A role is something you perform. Identity is who you are beneath it. Again, repeat it. A role is something you perform, but identity is who you are beneath that role. A retired physician may no longer practice medicine, but can still embody compassion, curiosity, and service. A divorced parent isn't simply someone's ex-spouse. They remain resilient, loving, and capable of building meaningful relationships. So, practical ways to practice is, for instance, to do this exercise. You take one page, you create two columns. Like on one side, you write the roles you've had: manager, husband, soccer coach, parent, business owner. And on the other, you write the qualities you still have, like creative, loyal, curious, compassionate, persistent, problem solver. Notice that the second list survives every transition and can transfer into any aspect of life. Another exercise is ask 3 close friends to describe you without mentioning your job, family role, or accomplishments. Their answers often reveal qualities you've overlooked. Number 2, allow yourself to grieve the old identity. Many people try to immediately, quote, move on, but every ending deserves acknowledgement. Retirement may feel like losing a community. Divorce can feel like losing a future you imagine. Job loss often affects self-worth as much as finances. So an empty nesting can create silence where purpose once lived. Ignoring grief delays healing. Processing it creates space for growth. So you can write a letter thanking your former role for what it gave you. Then write another letter welcoming the next chapter. This is one good way to practice. Another example, you can create a personal transition ritual because our brains love rituals. Take a reflective walk, donate work related items you're ready to release, or celebrate the completion of one season before beginning another. Number three, rediscover what energizes you. Many people become so busy fulfilling responsibilities that they forget what naturally brings them joy. Reinvention begins with curiosity. You can ask yourself, what fascinated me before life became busy? What activities make me lose track of time? What have I always wanted to learn? Sometimes purpose returns through play before it returns through work. So you can enroll in some kind of class. It can be photography, it can be learning a musical instrument, volunteer, or explore a new language simply because it interests you, not because it advances your career. Another example is to keep an energy journal for a couple of weeks. At the end of each day, note which activities left you feeling energized and which left you drained. Patterns often reveal where your authentic interests lie. Number four, build an identity around values, not circumstances. So careers change, relationships evolve, children grow, health shifts, values remain remarkably stable. Instead of asking, what should I do now? You can ask, what kind of person do I want to be? Someone who values learning can reinvent themselves countless times. Someone who values kindness remains themselves regardless of their title. So a practical way to do this sort of practice is choose 5 core values that define how you want to live, such as integrity, compassion, adventure, creativity, or service. Make future decisions by asking whether they align with those values. Another example is before accepting a new job or commitment, ask, does this reflect who I want to become or only who I used to be? Number 5, rewrite your personal story. Our brains naturally create narratives. Sometimes those stories become limiting. Like, quote, I failed, or like my best years are behind me. I've lost everything. Or try changing that narrative. Something like, I'm beginning again. I've gained experience. I'm creating a different future. The facts haven't changed, the meaning has. So again, to make this in practical terms, write your life story from the perspective of your future self, say 10 years from now. Describe this transition as the turning point that led to unexpected growth. Another example is replace phrases like, quote, I used to be with I am becoming. During conversations and journaling, language influences mindset. Number 6, expand your identity through new communities. Identity develops through relationships. If your entire social circle revolves around your previous role, reinvention becomes harder. Meeting new people allows different parts of yourself to emerge. So you can join a hiking club, a professional association, volunteer organization, book club, fitness group, or community class where people know you for who you are today, not who you were yesterday. Another example is you can attend networking events outside your previous industry. Conversations without your old title often reveal new interests and new opportunities. Number 7, accept that reinvention happens more than once. Many people believe life follows one straight path. Reality is different. We reinvent ourselves repeatedly. The college graduate, the new parent, the entrepreneur, the retiree, the widow, the empty nester, the survivor. Each version carries wisdom into the next. The healthiest people don't cling to the old identities. They allow themselves to evolve. Um, Say, for instance, every year you can ask yourself, what version of me no longer fits? And what qualities do I want to strengthen this year? Another example is create a personal reinvention list. Instead of a bucket list, include skills, experiences, and character traits you'd like to develop rather than achievements alone. So, reinvention is not starting over. One of the greatest misconceptions about change is that it erases the past. It doesn't. Every challenge you've survived, every relationship you've lived or loved, every mistake you've learned from, and every success you've achieved becomes part of your foundation. Retirement doesn't erase your wisdom. Divorce doesn't erase your capacity to love. Job loss doesn't erase your talents. Empty nesting doesn't erase your purpose. The title may disappear, the person remains. And perhaps for the first time in years, you're finally free to discover who that person truly is. So, life will inevitably change the roles you play, but it never has to diminish who you are. The most fulfilling identities are built not on positions, relationships, or achievements, but on character, values, and willingness to keep growing. Reinvention is less about replacing your past and more about integrating it into a richer, more authentic future. Sometimes losing a title is exactly what makes room for discovering your true self. So, as always, thank you for tuning into the Resilience Across Borders podcast. Please share it, review it, and you can follow the new published ones at resilience.com is the URL. ATRESILIENCE.com. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and stay resilient.